Hunter Biden's real scandal. Republicans occasionally seem fixated on punishing Joe Biden for the unpardonable sin of being a devoted father. The Trump re-election campaign and right-wing media strongly wagered that they might score big in the 2020 presidential contest by playing up the numerous issues surrounding Biden's son Hunter. The right, however, also highlighted evidence that the senior Biden was driven by parental love by amplifying accusations of Hunter Biden's wrongdoings. Biden's unwavering devotion to his son is laudable and completely reasonable. Nailia Hunter Biden and her 3 children were involved in an automobile accident in 1972, according to Biden's first wife. Naomi, Nailia's infant daughter, and Nailia were both killed. Beau and Hunter, 2 boys, managed to live. Beau later passed away in 2015 from brain cancer. Hunter is Biden's only straight flesh and blood child, despite his remarriage, having a daughter and multiple grandchildren. And blood legacy from the tragedy of 1972. Hunter naturally has a very special place in Biden's heart. On October 10, 2020, Sean Hannity reported on his Fox News show about a private voicemail message from Biden to Hunter where the father said, "It's Dad, I called to tell you I love you. I love you more than the whole world, pal. You gotta get some help. I don't know what to do, I know you don't either." On October 16, 2020, the New York Post published an article documenting a raw and intimate exchange between Biden and Hunter. In a February 24, 2019, text, Biden wrote to his son, then in a rehab clinic, "Good morning my beautiful son, I miss you and love you." Hunter responded with concern that his personal problems were going to hurt Biden's soon-to-be-announced presidential run. Hunter described himself as a fucked up addict who can't be trusted. Biden responded, "I'll run but I need you. Only focus is recovery. Nothing else." The publication of these messages by his opponents were clearly designed to humiliate Biden and sway voters against him, but, for anyone with a shred of empathy, they had the opposite effect. They show the candidate possessing an almost saintly patience and unfailing concern for a troubled offspring. It's easy to understand why Republicans and Fox News continue to devote uncountable hours to fulminating on the many scandals involving Hunter Biden, who is now the subject of a special counsel's investigation, and might yet become the basis for an impeachment hearing. As a former Biden aide confessed to The New Yorker in 2019, Hunter is super rich terrain. That New Yorker report documents at great length that Hunter has long been a troubled man, beset not only with the disease of addiction but also blatantly trafficking on his father's name and office. Over the last 2 decades and more, Hunter has earned extravagant sums as a lobbyist, legal advisor, and even an artist, from people who clearly valued him primarily for his proximity to his powerful father, who over that period has been a senator, vice president, and president. But Hunter is not the first presidential relative who has turned out to be an embarrassing and ne'er-do-well. Richard Nixon tapped the phone of his younger brother Donald, fearful of the siblings' financial improprieties. Jimmy Carter's brother, Billy, had once been in the pay of the Libyan government, which made him a target of an FBI investigation. Accusations of influence peddling also bedevil some of Donald Trump's progeny as well as his son-in-law Jared Kushner. But there's little evidence that voters punish politicians for the sins of their relatives. Nixon was brought low by his own actions in Watergate, not anything Donald did. Billy Carter remains a footnote to his brother's presidency, since Jimmy Carter's 1980 loss had other causes: inflation, spiking interest rates, and the protracted Iran hostage crisis. The scandals involving the Trump children were dwarfed by the many other reasons voters turfed their father out of the White House. If there were any actual evidence linking Joe Biden to Hunter's alleged crimes, then Biden's presidency would indeed burn and crash. Such evidence might yet emerge, but years of right-wing investigation have yet to produce it. As a report from the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation notes, some Republicans keep suggesting Joe Biden has been corrupted. But they don't have first-hand evidence of the most incendiary claim, that he got a cut from these foreign transactions, as early as 2014. Instead, they have allegations from sources. This is a fair conclusion. There is, however, a Hunter Biden scandal that reflects badly on Joe Biden, not that the president is a criminal, but rather that he's too harsh on alleged crimes if they involve those outside his family. Toward Hunter's struggles with addiction, Joe Biden has offered unconditional love and forgiveness, with a preference for treatment over incarceration. This is the right approach, but it shouldn't apply only to people named Biden. As Jacobin reporter Branko Marcetic demonstrated in his 2020 book Yesterday's Man, The Case Against Joe Biden, the president has a long history as a fierce anti-drug warrior, constantly pushing for punitive laws. When Biden first entered the Senate in 1973, he was a liberal reformer emphasizing humane solutions to addiction such as job training and psychiatric care. That stance quickly changed as Biden saw how Republicans like Ronald Reagan reaped victories from tough-on-crime politics. By the 1980s, Biden was at the forefront of pushing for mandatory minimums and the centralization of law enforcement under a drug czar. As Marcetic notes, in 1989, Biden suggested the new drug czar could encourage police teams to go into drug-laden neighborhoods and even schools to take on violence. Biden urged him to explore the idea of a vaccine that prevents drug addiction, a fantastical idea that a National Institute on Drug Abuse official warned would likely involve targeting neighborhoods of mostly black kids, and developing a product that would suppress not just the good feeling that resulted from drug use but any sense of enjoyment, so that, it would in effect make life not worth living. Biden defers to Justice Department in first public answer on special counsel investigation into his son.